What is the particle が? What particle が indicates is the actor or the subject of a phenomenon. When you want to describe when something happened or happens, you use が for the subject. 地震が起こった. Earthquake happened. I mentioned 地震 using the particle が to indicate the subject of this phenomenon. I can mention 地震 using the particle は地震は起こった. If I use は it's either I'm mentioning the earthquake as the topic. If I'm talking about earthquake in general, earthquake happens 5 times a year. Then, in this case, I mention earthquake as a general concept. 地震は. Or, I can use は to emphasize on the contrast. ここら辺は地震は起きませんが、台風はよく来ます. But, when you just want to simply mention 地震 as the subject of a phenomenon, okay, earthquake happened. Here, earthquake is not general concept. I'm talking about this specific earthquake. In this situation, I will bring up 地震 using the particle が. さっき地震が発生しました. 火山が噴火した. 雷が鳴った. あ、田中さんが怒った. Here in this example, 田中さんが怒った. Now I'm describing this event, 田中 got angry, as if it was just a phenomenon. From my perspective, I'm just describing what happened instead of what Tanaka did. If I focus on Tanaka and focus on what Tanaka did, I would say 田中さんは怒りました. When I say 田中さんは, then I fix the focus on Tanaka. And the focus of this sentence is what Tanaka did. Tanaka got angry. But instead of fixing the focus on Tanaka, if I just want to simply describe the event, describe the happening, describe what I see, then I mention Tanaka using the particle が because Tanaka in this sentence is merely the subject of this happening. 田中さんが怒りました. When you see a door opens and Tanaka enters, there are two ways to describe this event. You can say, 田中さんはドアを開けて入ってきました. Or you can just simply say, ドアが開きました or ドアが開きました. When I say ドアが開きました, no matter if this event is someone's intentional action or not, I'm just simply describing this event. The door opened. Maybe Tanaka opened it, but the point of this sentence is, from my perspective, I'm just simply depicting the scene, what I see. The door opened. In this situation, because the focus is not on Tanaka, the focus is just simply describing this scene, I mentioned door using が. When you are in the train in Japan, you might hear this phrase often. ドアが開きます. Here, why do they use が? You know, they open the door. They maybe push the button to open the door. Someone must have intentionally opened the door. It's not that the door spontaneously opened. There must be someone who intentionally pushed the button to open the door. But when you say ドアが開きます, it doesn't matter if this phenomenon is intentional or not. They're just describing what is going to happen. They're not talking about what they are going to do. So the focus is what is going to happen. So this word happen is the key in understanding this particle が. When you use が, you're basically describing what is happening or what has happened. Let's compare these two expressions. ビールが飲みたい and ビールを飲みたい. What are the differences? Okay, remember what I just said. I said the particle が indicates the actor or the subject of an event or a phenomenon. So when I say ビールが飲みたい, I'm talking about this phenomenon that occurred in me. What happened in me? I had this feeling. uncontrollable feeling. It's not that I intentionally want to drink beer. This feeling, oh, I want to drink beer, it just occurred to me. So when you feel like, oh, I want to drink beer in this situation, your focus is not your willful action. Your focus is just to express your feeling that occurred in you. ビールが飲みたい. So when you want to say, oh, I want to drink beer, in this situation, it's more natural to use the particle が. ビールが飲みたい. But if you say ビールを飲みたい, your will is reflected. I want to drink beer. In this sentence, there is your determination or your will to drink beer is included in this sentence. Maybe it's not so clear from this sentence, but if I use this example, I think it's more obvious. If you are talking about your future plan, for example, 俺、大学に入学したら、日本語を勉強したい. Okay, in this sentence, 日本語を勉強したい. When I say 日本語を勉強したい, it's not that some urge occurred in me. I'm talking about my future plan. Notice that there are two kinds of wanting. One is more like craving for, something that you cannot control, or I want to do something. That's one type of want. Another type is, it's more like your plan, what you want to do in the future. What is your own will orient you toward? So the point here is, when you use the particle が、ビールが飲みたい、ケーキが食べたい、ゲームがしたい, you are talking about the phenomena, what happened in you. が is the subject of this happening. This feeling occurred in me. But when you use the particle を in these examples, ビールを飲みたい、ケーキを食べたい、ゲームをやりたい, you're rather talking about your will, what your will wish to do, rather than what just happened in me. So if you are talking about the future's willful action, 私、大学卒業したら、要日本語スクールで日本語を教えたいです。日本語を教えたいです。If you want to say, I want to study Japanese, you're not talking about what you're craving for. When you say, 大学に入ったら日本語を勉強したいです。What you are talking about is your plan, what you want to do, what you're going to do in the future, not what you are craving for. So please note that there are different types of want. And when you want to talking about the feeling that occurred in you, you use the particle が. And if you're talking about something you do with clear purpose in your mind, then you use the particle を. You can say 日本語が勉強したい. That's fine too. If you say 日本語を勉強したい, your will is reflected in this sentence. But if you just say 日本語が勉強したい, you're just talking about your feeling. I feel like I want to study Japanese. That's the difference. So again, what is が? が is a marker used to mark the subject of a phenomenon. The focus is on the phenomenon. The focus is not on someone or something. So for example, if I merely describe what I see without focusing on some particular topic, I will use the particle が to mention the subject. For example, あ、公園で子供がサッカーしてる。あれ？変な男の人が近づいてくる。あ、その男の人が銃を取り出した。あ、田中さんがやってきた。あ、田中さんがその男の人にドロップキックした。あ、田中さんがその人を取り押さえた。あ、警察が来た。あ、警察がその人を逮捕した。あれ？田中さんがいない。田中さんがいなくなった。あれ？田中さんはどこにいるんだろう？ Okay, in this example, except the last sentence, I use particle が in each sentence. That is because I'm just merely describing each scene. I'm not fixing on someone as topic. I'm just simply describing what happened. But at the last sentence, I said, 田中さんはどこに行ったんだろう Now I'm fixing my attention to Tanaka. Okay, now I want to ask about Tanaka. Where did Tanaka go? I fix my attention or focus to Tanaka. 田中さんはどこに行ったんだろう So you use the particle が when you simply describe a scene or something. So when you say, oh, there is an apple on the table, you use the particle が to mention the apple because you are not talking about the apple, you're talking about the scene. リンゴがテーブルの上にあります。バッグの中にハサミがあります。田中さんが屋根の上にいます。あ、紙にうんこがついてますよ。But if I focus on particular subject, then I use the particle は。田中さんはどこですかあ、田中さんは今インドにいます。札幌は北海道にあります。田中さん、ガールフレンドはいますかいや、僕ガールフレンドはいません。So again, you use the particle が when your focus is on what happened rather than focusing on some particular subject. なんか頭が痛いな。I said 頭が痛い because I'm not talking about my head. I'm just talking about what is happening. My head hurts. 頭が痛いな。お尻がかゆいな。あ、雨が降ってきた。あ、電話が鳴ってる。あ、もしもし今、田中さんから電話が来て、娘さんが熱出して寝込んでるから、今日は来れないって。In all these examples, what the speaker describing is what happened or what is happening, rather than focusing on specific subject. So in Japanese, when you say, I like someone, for example, あなたが好き we use the particle が because I'm not talking about what I do. I'm talking about the feeling that occurred in me. When I see you, when I think of you, this feeling occur. So I'm describing what is happening rather than what I'm doing. That's why in Japanese, あなたが好き、あなたが嫌い、彼が愛おしい。People use the particle が because what they're talking about is phenomenon, not what they do. There's another role in the particle が。Particle が also emphasizes the actor or the subject. It's like in English, he is the, this is the kind of feeling. あの有名な田中さんはどちらですかあの人が田中さんです。あの人が he is the 田中 that people always talk about. This が emphasizes the actor or the subject. あれチーズケーキはおい、誰がチーズケーキ食べたお前か千尋。いやいや、私じゃないよ。多分お兄ちゃんだよ。お兄ちゃんが食べたんだよ。いやいや、俺も食べてないよ。絶対千尋だよ。千尋が食べたんだよ。Like in this example. When the focus is who did it, then people also use this particle が to emphasize on the actor. People also use が in a situation like when you want to say, okay, I do it. Okay, I do it. うわ、トイレ汚い。これ誰掃除するのいいよ。俺がやるよ。俺が。いや、俺が emphasizes I will be the actor. I will do the job. 今回のプレゼン誰が行いますか私がやります。So that's another way people use particle が。ある日突然電話が鳴った。もしもし電話は田中社長からだった。田中社長が明日アメリカから日本に帰ってくるらしい。大事な話があるから、社員全員を集めてほしいとのことだった。そしてついにその時が来た。おう、みんな、よく集まってくれたな。今回みんなを呼び出したのは他でもない。大事な話があるからだ。大事な話ですかそうだ。よく聞いてくれ。 この中にスパイがいる。これはもう確かな情報だ。おい、鈴木、お前だろ？お前最近怪しかったからな。お前がスパイだろ？いや、俺じゃないよ。お前の方が怪しいだろ、ホンダ。ホンダ、お前がスパイだろ？おいおいみんな、憶測で話すのはやめてくれ。じゃあ田中社長、一体誰がスパイなんですか？それはな、お前だ。トヨタ。お前がスパイだ。そうか、ようやくバレたか。そうだ、俺がスパイだ。だが、今更気づいてももう遅い。もうこの計画はすべて準備が整ってるんだ。今更お前たちにできることは何もない。なんだって？諦めるのはまだ早い。誰だ？僕たちがいる。僕たちがお前の計画を事前に阻止したんだ。何？お前はヤマハ？彼だけじゃないわ。私もいるのよ。誰だ？何？お前はスバル？あなたが計画してたこと、事前にすべて分かってたんだから。なるほどな。すべて読まれてたということか。だが、お前たちはまだ気づいてないかもしれないが、俺には仲間がいるんだぞ。仲間？あ。みんな残念だったな。もう計画はすでに進んでいるんだよ。お前はテスラ。まさかお前までスパイだったなんて。社長、どうしましょう。もうどうしようもないですよ。みんな、まだ諦めないで。私たちにはまだベンツがいるじゃない。ベンツベンツあれ？ベンツがいない。ベンツはどこ？何を言っている？ベンツは俺たちの仲間だ。奴が今、現場で計画を進めているところだ。嘘。まさかあのベンツがスパイだったなんて。もう諦めろ。これから魔人ブムーが復活する。これから新しい世界が始まるのさ。